Steve Jobs believed that most people live their lives according to expectations created by others. He often said that the moment you understand life can be shaped by your own decisions, everything changes. Most people never reach their true potential because they never question the limits placed on them by society, by their environment, or by their own fear. Steve Jobs refused to live inside those limits. He acted on the belief that the world is built by people no smarter than you. And once you realize that, you can reshape it. He lived with an unusual level of focus. Jobs believed that greatness doesn't come from doing more. It comes from removing what doesn't matter. He would look at a project, a decision, a goal, and ask a very simple question. Is this truly important? If the answer was no, even slightly no, it cut it out. Most people clutter their lives with distractions and waste energy on things that don't push them forward. Jobs mastered the art of saying no. He said no to thousands of ideas so he could say yes to a few that mattered. That discipline is one reason Apple created products that changed industries. Steve Jobs also believed deeply in intuition. Logic has limits, but intuition sees what the mind can't explain yet. When he dropped out of college, he didn't know where that decision would lead, but he trusted his inner voice more than external expectations. That intuition led him to explore things like calligraphy, which eventually shaped the design philosophy of the Mac and influenced modern digital typography. His life was proof that the dots only connect when you look back, so you must trust your heart as you move forward. He also understood the power of time. Jobs knew his time was limited, especially after his diagnosis. But what made him different was that he lived as if every day mattered long before he knew he was sick. He said, remembering that you're going to die is the most powerful tool, because it forces you to choose what really matters. Most people act like they have unlimited years ahead. They postpone dreams, ignore their potential, and live safely. Jobs believed that playing safe is the most dangerous thing you can do. You lose the chance to create the life you want. When he woke up each day, he asked himself if he would be satisfied doing what he planned to do that day. If the answer was no, too many days in a row, he changed something. Another core part of his philosophy was simplicity. He said simple is harder than complex. It takes clarity to remove the unnecessary. Jobs pushed every team at Apple to refine, reduce, and remove anything that didn't serve the purpose of the product. He lived the same way. People complicate their lives with unhealthy habits, too many commitments, and fear of disappointing others. Steve Jobs kept only what created meaning. If something didn't inspire him, challenge him, or bring value, it didn't stay in his life. He also had a very unique relationship with failure. Jobs didn't avoid failure. Used Italiano. When he was fired from Apple, the company he built, he didn't collapse. He said it was the best thing that ever happened to him because it freed him to be creative again. Failure gave him space to build next, to rebuild himself, and eventually to return to Apple stronger than ever. Most people treat failure as a dead end. Jobs treated it as fuel. He believed the people who succeed in life are simply the ones who keep going long after others quit. Steve Jobs also rejected the idea of living someone else's dream. He warned that the biggest trap is allowing your life to be guided by other people's opinions. From parents, teachers, friends, society, everyone will tell you how to live, but none of them will live with the consequences of your decisions. Jobs didn't let the noise of others drown out his own inner voice. That's why he could make bold decisions that others were too afraid to even imagine. He believed passion matters, but not in the way most people think. Job said you must love what you do because the journey is too hard to survive without passion. If you don't love the work, you'll quit when it becomes difficult, and it always becomes difficult. But passion doesn't mean excitement every day. It means caring deeply enough to push forward even when the process is exhausting. That level of commitment is what built products like the iPhone and the Mac. He also understood that perfection is not the goal. Excellence. He pushed teams to go beyond what they believed possible. not because he wanted control, but because he saw their potential before they saw it. Jobs believed that humans limit themselves more than life limits them. He demanded more because he believed people were capable of more. At the center of everything, Steve Jobs lived with a sense of purpose. His work wasn't just business. It was a mission. He believed technology should serve people, inspire them, and elevate the human experience. That purpose gave his life direction and energy. Most people drift through life without a mission, living reactively instead of intentionally. Jobs lived with intention every single day. The real message behind Steve Jobs' life isn't about building Apple or becoming a billionaire. It's about waking up. It's about realizing you have the power to shape your life. It's about having the courage to trust yourself. It's about letting go of fear, cutting out noise, embracing intuition, and choosing the life you want to live. Jobs believed that if you truly understand that everything around you was created by people no smarter than you gain the power to change anything. His life is a reminder that you are not here to be ordinary. You're here to be authentic, bold, curious, and alive. You're here to create, to explore, to express your unique gifts. And as Steve Jobs said, the ones who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who actually do.